turn us up. Hey, it's the Detour.
So I'm going to open up a little bit today. As a musician, and I'm sure that this is probably applicable to everybody, but it's the only way that I know how to talk about it. And being a musician, playing mainly guitar, it's the main, instrument that I've ever mastered, or maybe to some extent I've mastered it. But being a musician, a guitarist, I've had this kind of thing happen, and I think that it's a level of depression mixed in with, being tired, and then also, just feeling like it's, like different tasks are mundane. What I'm getting at is that there are times that I think about playing songs, and like the songs I learned when I was a kid, whether or not they're simple songs. One of the things that people gave me a lot of shit for back in the day was that I played a lot of Nickelback. I love Nickelback, still do to this day. I don't like Chad Kroeger. That's a very big difference. A lot of people worship him. I don't. I think that he's a very terrible human being in my opinion, but he does make good music. All that being said is that Nickelback songs are simple songs. I learned how to make my guitar heavy. I learned that there was a difference in how you hold your chords whenever you switch from one tuning to a next to get that kind of heavy sound. And as I got older and I was trying other guitar techniques and learning things that were more advanced, I let all that stuff go. And it's not even just Nickelback. It's everything from that to 3 Days Grace to, even some of the Muse songs I learned, and different bands that I played the shit out of. I actually used to do this thing every day after school where I would come home and I wouldn't even eat, I wouldn't do homework, I wouldn't do anything. The first thing that I would do is I would throw on Jesus of Suburbia by Green Day, and I would play the entire 9-minute song, just the entire thing. And that was the way that I built my dexterity. When you hold a 3-note chord with your left hand and you have to keep it alive for that long, it really challenges you. But something happened along the way where those old songs that I know that people that don't play guitar probably look at it and think that either it's impressive or that it's cool or that it sounds good, but I get bored. Practice takes so much time, and it's playing those notes over and over again to where you can just breathe and do them, and not even think about it. And there's something that's lost when you're by yourself and you're playing these songs, and you feel like that you've been there, done that, and there's just no excitement anymore. Then you have the other side of it, which is I think about songs I've been learning, whether it's, Goat by Polyphia, or if it's Galaxy Brain by Intervals, or if it's even Dose by Intervals. These are well-accomplished musicians that do some of the most insane things, and I'll practice these parts and I'll learn them, to the best of my ability, and then all day while I'm at work or whenever I'm not in front of my guitar or have it in my hands, it feels like I can't play it, like what I learned was too hard. Self-esteem is something that is very difficult for me. I've never liked anything about myself. I think I'm very mediocre. I think that the things that I do, anybody could if they took the time to do it. It makes me feel as if I'm not as unique. But then it's weird because I have moments where I will play something in front of somebody and I see their eyes get wide and they're like, whoa, how'd you figure that out? And I went, I don't know, I just meditated, sat down and learned a guitar part. It's having those moments of realizing that what you're doing is actually really cool and it actually means something, and people are, fascinated with it. The older I get, and I've been playing guitar since I was 15, so now it's been, 17 years I think I've been playing, which it doesn't even feel that long. There's days I still feel like a beginner, and then other days I feel like I'm on top of the world. Kind of like Call of Duty, there's nights that I could just absolutely destroy a map and just own it and be the first place, winner and have my head held high. Then there's other times that I can't even buy a kill. I will say that this past weekend, I did get to make music with our buddy Ron from Thunder Rooster. He's become such a good friend of ours, and that really awoke something where it was putting me through the paces. It was, I've got to play on beat. We're in the studio. We're trying to write something big and, metal and genty and all that kinds of stuff. And even in that, there are times that whenever I write heavy things, I think to myself, how can I stand out? What am I doing? What am I doing this for? Who am I doing this for? Where will this end up? How is this going to feel when it's all done? Will I feel any better? To be honest, I really don't even know where I'm going with this thought process, but it's really what's on my mind, is that, you know, it's like, is that something that we will struggle with forever? Is that something that even the most acclaimed musicians, or even the best artist, or the greatest, you know, actor, director, it makes you wonder what it's like to be in their shoes. It makes you wonder if they have that same mentality of that, like, oh man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to zoom today. Am I going to zoom correctly on my camera? Am I going to be able to cry in this scene properly? Do I feel like I'm just barely making it? I've even heard Hugh Laurie from the show House, where he said that he always felt like he was just stumbling over his feet doing an American accent, because he doesn't. He's foreign. He wasn't raised in America. But from the outside perspective, House is one of the grittiest sounding dudes on television and sounds completely American. And it's incredible to me that the perception of others is so different than the perception of ourselves. I will say this, is that I am very fortunate that I have people around me, and I always have, that support me, that love me, that are excited about what I'm doing. And it's only gotten better as I've gotten older. I've had some opposition here and there, sure, but in my opinion, I think that I've been able to excel to a point that that the things that they were saying, like, it doesn't even hold water anymore, because I'm past that, you know? But even in opposition, it was more so, I had the mentality of that, I was like, no, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you, like, you know, I'm going to show you exactly what I can do. And I'm going to do my best, and I'm going to do my damnedest. I think that the main thing that we all have to remember, and the thing that I've got to remind myself of too, until I have the moments that I sit down and I talk with my girl, or I talk with, you know, my friends, or talk with Eric, or talk with, you know, the wonderful coworkers I've been given, or, you know, the wonderful people that I fully believe that God has given me, that they remind me that I love what I do, you know, and like getting excited about things. And there's a part of me that does, you know, does rest on that, where, oh, I'm insecure, I don't do this enough, I could be better, you know, I'm nothing, I'm this, I'm that. But then there's also this other part of me that has this mentality of, no, even if I suck at this, even if it's not the best, I still did it. Even if I still put it out there. Looking back, I've uploaded a lot of content, I've learned a lot of songs, I've come up with many different stories that probably will never happen, but they're here. They're there. And nobody else is going to be able to experience the things that I have, or be able to think of the things that I have. Just like I won't be able to even conceptualize what it's like for somebody like Tim Burton to make something. Or how, like, my buddy TJ, who is one of the most artistic people I've ever met in my life, and how he perceives everything. They're fascinating on the outside, but they're people too. I want to encourage you guys this week that if you're struggling with being artistic, or if you're struggling with trying to make something or do something, I know that it feels like that you're in a situation where it's just, you know, old news to you. You've been thinking about it for however long, and it's just stale. But to somebody else, that can be the juiciest, amazing, most tasty, just incredible thing that could save their mental health, and or get them excited and inspire them to be able to do their own thing. Don't lose yourself, guys. Remember, you're awesome. Adios.